So if you've only heard mild-mannered Mark Stewart thus far and not heard about what to do about the income tax, maybe you are shocked that I am not mild in my prescription. Not mild because we have been preyed upon by those who manipulate the tax code for far too long. It has made almost everybody think the other guy's paying less than you, okay? Rich people think the middle class are getting away with too much, or getting away with too much, and they're getting taxed too much. And not so well-off people think the rich are getting away with it. Get rid of the whole thing. I would leave the corporate income tax, as I said before. Now, let me talk about a couple objections. Mark, we can't do things without government. Sure we can. Unregulated private interests get most government things done better. Remember, a government project is still done by humans, by individuals who still bring their talents and their wisdom to things. But done without government, they don't have certain constraints that keep projects from being done as well as possible. Here's an example of how I would get certain projects done by that the government would like, okay, that the legislature has convened and says, we want this done. Right now, they give a tax break across the board to anyone in a certain industry. It therefore spends an unknown amount of money because it's an unknown number of businesses trying to take advantage. Now, if the federal government wants to get something done right that might otherwise not get funded, here's the way. You award one large sum to a group or a consortium that develops the invention for you. Let's say the United States military wants to own technology that disables foreign combatants from starting wars, but not civilians, okay? In other words, it can detect who is a combatant and who is a non-combatant. We could end some wars. We could bring so many troops home. We could keep so many men, women of ourselves and our allies out of harm's way with that kind of invention. Is it possible? I don't know. It's probably worth $500 billion. Award $300 billion to the group that does this invention. The first group that meets its specifications has a colossal reward. What's that big reward do? It engenders competition. And we'll get probably a second best and a third best that are probably good for some other things. We might get tangential other devices in the process that might aid police or prison guards. Look at the current scramble among wireless providers to roll out 5G networks. AT&T, Verizon, Sprint had actually teamed up with T-Mobile because they couldn't do it alone. So we got three strong competitors on their own, spending billions each to get it done decently and dominate, or at least get a big share of a faster communications market. But we're not rewarding them at the outset. We have a spectrum to give up to the best one or more that provide it. Government should not be making economic decisions across the board or even spur things that it thinks is right outside of military. 435 politically indebted congressmen are not attuned to what's good for individuals. 435 million, that's about the population of Canada, US, and Mexico. They're better arbiters of our economic needs. Businesses in the free market are incentivized to meet those needs. Tax incentives distort true needs, and they keep businesses from developing the way they and their customers would want. Please banish the thought that 435 elected House of Representatives congressmen are wiser than you. They might be more knowledgeable, they are in certain areas, but wisdom is knowledge used for good. That's my definition. And I know how knowledge gets perverted in the legislative process and is often not used for good. Those 435 are subject to getting reelected. So they sometimes are pulled by fundraising needs or paid for speech making by companies that have their eyes in the pie or their hand in the pie, even when not on the take. Okay? The get along, go along of party politics, the public pressure to do things that are highly popular, keeps some legislators from doing what's right even when they know what's right. Individuals should have more power because when we know, we can carry out the rightness a lot better. I'm Mark Stewart.